On May 16, 2025, at Pambic International Airport, Florida, newly elected US President Donald Trump made a statement that sent shockwaves across the globe. Both Russia and Ukraine, despite their ongoing suspicions and entrenched positions, appeared eager to end the war that has ravaged Ukraine for years. Yet, with the situation remaining dire, questions linger. Is 2025 truly the year this devastating conflict will conclude? For over 3 years, the Russia-Ukraine war has defied expectations, marked by grueling battles and unrelenting shifts on the battlefield. The final months of 2024 and the early months of 2025 have seen significant geopolitical and military changes. In August 2024, Ukraine launched a surprise offensive into Russian territory, marking the first time Ukrainian forces had breached Russian soil since the war began. This move allowed Ukraine to seize more than 1,300 square kilometers, including a vital gas transit town. However, by late November, Russian counterattacks had reduced Ukraine's territorial gains to just 800 square kilometers, showing the relentless push from Moscow. As both sides face mounting challenges, including severe shortages of manpower and resources, the situation grows even more precarious. Ukrainian forces, particularly in regions like Kherson and Zaporizhia, remain on high alert, unable to make substantial progress due to the complexities of crossing vast river systems and entrenched defensive positions. The Russian military has made strategic advancements, especially in Donetsk, where key cities like Bakhmut and Vuhledar have fallen into Russian hands after months of brutal fighting. In the midst of the battlefield chaos, the conflict's global implications deepen. On January 20, 2025, Donald Trump officially returned to the White House, bringing with him a sharp shift in US foreign policy. Within days, Trump imposed a halt on federal hiring, regulations, and foreign aid, including a freeze on military aid to Ukraine. This move, compounded by his demand that Ukraine repay the $350 billion in aid through natural resource compensation, marked a dramatic turning point. Under the proposed agreement, Ukraine would forfeit half of its future mining revenue to the US, a decision that left President Zelensky in an impossible position. But the most significant twist came when, on May 18, 2025, a historic phone call between Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin led to a groundbreaking diplomatic summit in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. For the first time since the conflict began, Russia and the US agreed to cooperate on ending the war, signaling the potential for a new geopolitical order in which Ukraine's fate is increasingly at the mercy of Washington and Moscow's evolving relationship. Despite these developments, President Zelensky's leadership is now in question. Trump's harsh criticism of Zelensky, calling him a dictator, and his plan to force new elections in Ukraine raises the specter of a regime change. Should Ukraine's leadership falter under pressure, the path to peace could involve greater Russian influence, especially if the country finds itself increasingly isolated from Western support. With these dramatic shifts, multiple scenarios unfold. A military escalation by Russia seems inevitable, as Moscow looks to capitalize on its strategic gains and push further into Ukrainian-held territories. But the situation could also spark a broader European conflict, particularly if NATO intervenes directly in Ukraine's defense. Ultimately, the prospects for Ukraine's survival hinge not only on the military outcomes, but also on the diplomatic maneuvering of global powers. The shift in American foreign policy under Trump, coupled with Russia's strengthening position, leaves Ukraine facing an uncertain future, with the potential for devastating losses in both human and territorial terms. As the world watches closely, one thing remains clear: Ukraine's path forward is fraught with danger. With dwindling resources, internal pressures, and a rapidly shifting international landscape, May 2025 either mark the end of this brutal conflict or push the world to the brink of an even more catastrophic war.